Welcome back to Phoenix Forge. Thanks for joining us today. So, today's mission is to forge a cutlass. Okay, so I've recently finished watching Black Sails, all about pirates and what they get up to, and I was a little bit inspired. You know, a few weeks ago we made a boarding axe out of an old ball peen. I thought, yeah, that was kind of cool. And someone suggested that I made a cutlass. Good suggestion. Why the hell not? So, I've only got one day to do this in. So I'm up against the clock a little bit, but we're going to have a go at forging our very own Pirate Cutlass with a D-handled grip and see how we get on. Okay, so my sword's cooled down, the piece I've forged into my tang is cold enough to me to hold on to, so I can spin it around without having to use tongs, which will make my life easier. I'm going to forge the taper on the far end for the point, for the blade, and then we'll do some profiling. So, time to get back in the forge. Okay, so I've got the fuller ground in, taking that to about 120 grit. Now it's time to put some bevels on. I think I'm going to do a lot of the stock removal, the bulk of it, just quickly with a grinder to sort of remove 90% and then tidy that up on the linisher there to really get my bevels in nicely. So pretty pleased so far, it's coming. Okay, so the blade's all ground out, taking that down to about 1 millimetre or so on the edge, and that's ready for heat treating now. So I've lit the gas forge, and we're going to chuck this in there, warm it up to its lower critical, quench it in some oil, and then we'll go from a blade-shaped object to an actual blade. Okay, so harden the blade, and I've also taken it over and just ground off some of that oxide on the surface so I can see the fresh cut steel. It's tempering time now, which will soften the blade a little bit and give it that sort of spring characteristic that we're looking for. So we're going to use an oxyacetylene because I haven't got a tempering oven long enough for one of these. So we're going to wing it. we've hardened and tempered the blade. It's got a nice bit of colour to it. I might leave the fullers black. We'll just have to see. And hopefully we can get this finished before the end of the day. Perfect time to do the D-guard. Now I've got a chunk of 25x8. It's roughly 250mm or something long. I want to forge a couple of tapers on this. Obviously I've got to punch 2 holes, one for going up by the where the blade is, and one right on the end where a pommel would normally go on a sword. So let's get to this. So I forged a taper on my cross guard. We've slot punched the hole, but I haven't fully drifted it, so I'm going to come back to that. Now what I want to do is spread some of this material and then dish it slightly so it forms almost half a bowl guard. Give me a bit more knuckle protection. So to do that, I'm going to use my crosspeen hammer and spreading that material sideways, a bit like a Suffolk latch. Okay, so I've got the basic profile of the D-guard forged out. We've got the 2 holes punched in there. The next process is to dish the center and actually make it form a shallow bowl, basically, so it protects your knuckles. So I'm going to do that in a swage block, and then I'm going to come back and drift that top slot to the finished size. It's time to move on to the D knuckle guard and tidy this up and refine it a little bit. Give it a bit of a polish. That was a good fit. Let's put some holes through it. Okay, so I finally got all the pieces of this sword ready to be assembled. Took me a little bit longer than I'd anticipated. It's taken me a couple hours today and obviously all day on Saturday as well. But I've got all the pieces ready and it's ready for riveting together. Well, there we go. She's all riveted together. Pretty solid. Nice little ring to it as well. Pretty chuffed with that one. So the next stage is to see what sort of damage this thing can do. And we're going to have a look around the workshop, see what we can find to chop up. There we are, guys, there's a finished cutlass. As I say, pretty chuffed with that one, pretty happy with how that turned out, and does some pretty slick damage. Now, I hope you guys found this informative and enjoyed this little video. Remember to click like and subscribe. Let us know what you think in the comments, we always read them, and we'll see you next time in the workshop. Cheers, guys.